Mr Pistorius, once again intensely cross-examined by lead prosecutor Nel, and they've gone through a lot of different incidents in the past and involved incidents that Nel wants to bring in by way of character evidence for this main murder charge Oscar Pistorius is facing. And then finally, just before the break, the situation in the bedroom, once again returning to the details of the bedroom, the pair of jeans, the duvet, where they were according to Oscar Pistorius, and what the photos from the scene show the following morning once police had gone in and taken photos. Nomsa Maseko has been in court. And Nomsa, just what's so significant about this pair of jeans, this duvet?
The reason why the prosecutor is talking about the pair of jeans is because Oscar Pistorius has told the court that there was an LED light that was on inside the bedroom that he needed to cover, and therefore because it was disrupting him while he was asleep. And then the prosecutor said that means that you would have seen Reeva Steenkamp whether she was on the bed or not. And Oscar Pistorius is doing his best here and is sounding quite feisty, telling the court that, well, the police moved around my things. I've never been a victim of crime before until the police stole my watches. I don't have any confidence in the police, which also would be interpreted as Oscar Pistorius saying that he does not have confidence in the criminal justice system of South Africa. So that's why this character evidence is being brought in, particularly also talking about several brawls that Oscar Pistorius was allegedly involved in, and him telling the court that he never drew his firearm. Instead of fighting, he decided to walk away from those incidents.
Right, and he's opened the door to character evidence, more character evidence being brought in. That could be seen as a big mistake.
It's because he's answering questions, long-winded questions, instead of sticking to what he's been asked. He's giving evidence here that he has not been asked about, and he's actually getting a bit argumentative as well when he's being asked about that. And of course, we've now gone back to the night of the shooting, which is what everybody wants to hear about here. So he's giving more detail about whether he whispered to Reeva Steenkamp or not. There's a contradiction there, because Oscar Pistorius 2 days ago, while he was being led by his attorney, he first told the court that he screamed and shouted to Reeva Steenkamp to phone the police, and then he stopped screaming at her because he didn't want the intruder to find his position in the house, and then he said he whispered at Reeva Steenkamp to phone the police. Today he's changed that. He says he never whispered, he spoke softly, and he told the court there's a difference between whispering and speaking softly, and trying also to argue that point that he never whispered at all, but he spoke in a soft voice to Reeva Steenkamp.
And Nel picking straight back up on that, saying, if you spoke to Reeva Steenkamp and you said there's an intruder, get down, call the police, why didn't you wait for her response? When in previous relationships he had a girlfriend, an ex-girlfriend, testifying that he'd wake up in the night and say, did you hear that noise? And talk to her.
Well, he's also conceded that there was an incident in which his ex-girlfriend Samantha Taylor was in the house, and when he heard a suspicious noise and spoke to her, woke her up, leaned over to her and said, did you hear that noise? So what the prosecutor is saying to him, then why could he not have done the same with Reeva? And in this case, he says that he was quite sure of the noise that he heard, and that is why there was no point in asking somebody else if they had heard that. But the court is going to question him about what would a reasonable person have done. If you hear a noise, somebody is sleeping next to you, would you not have wanted to wake them up and alert them to that point?